I'm just aware that while AXIZ have tried to throw some curveballs, Sengoku have got a lot of things they are oh so comfortable on as we head into game one.
Oh, absolutely, Sam. And not only that, this is kind of very much like comfort pick territory for the side of Sengoku. As you already mentioned, Jet had that 80+ win rate on this LeBlanc. And this isn't really anything like Sengoku are being forced to do anything. They've got a standard front-to-back comp. They've got a tank. They've got someone that can get into the back line with the assassin. They've got Once who can do the wraparounds. And then they've got Sivayumi who can play front-to-back, how all play around the sides and everything. They've got a lot of versatility. For the side of AXIZ, while there is comfort here, and obviously, as you've mentioned, Sangchu is 80% of that kill participation. Swamp has been that crux for AXIZ of either when they do win, for them to pop off. I just worry that we haven't got all the members of the side of AXIZ on super comfort picks. And Dicey, while we haven't seen them throughout this whole split, has been having a better performance than I'm trying to remember the player's name that was in, but now I'm just remembering his old name, which was Silent Joker.
Are we talking for the support here?
It
wasn't Dayan, was it?
No, it began with O.
Oh, Ozka.
Thank you, sir.
I've got you. Dayan was Burning Core, if I remember correctly, with Yuhi and the Lexes. Just call this one out here in the mid lane as well.
Both teams who have struggled to pick up wins, both teams who have been changing supports. Weird.
Definitely a symptom, perhaps, of greater problems in teams struggling to find their synergy. Is Jet at the level 1, starting with the Ethereal Chain. It's some tech you do often see into the Renekton mid, because that way you have to go absolutely nowhere near the Crocodile. You can just attack him from range and put him on a leash.
Oh, absolutely. And with that, you've got to basically complete zone management on this, and it's Jet. So, of course, when it comes to just wave management, what can Mega Man do? Like, he has to just sack waves and just accept this. And part of the genius of all of this is not something we've actually mentioned yet, is damage profiles for these two teams here, right? Sengoku are kind of like all in on Jet to be their AP threat. However, they've got NT and they've got Paz. Ornn, good for doing incidental, just AP damage when he does stuff. Yumi, pretty good at doing that as well, weirdly enough. A flying cat that's intargetable and does do AP damage, it's beneficial. AXIZ are all in on Swamp to be that AP damage profile. Otherwise, Ornn will be an unkillable threat because he goes Thornmail into, I don't know, generic tanky Ornn items with ornaments. And what can the side of AXIZ do? Cry. Probably, if everything goes bad, obviously, and that's what they're going to have to be focusing on. They need to make sure Paz doesn't get to scale as well. They want to have it so Yellow Yoshi is able to inject onto that. And with the top lane focus for Swamp at this moment in time, at least going top side, it's going to try and invade over here right now, and it's going to be exciting to see what they're able to do. But just mid lane is poking one another.
They've got that ward dance. There's the shove taken by Swamp as well. What a cheeky little invade, because of course you saw once had gone towards the other side as Megaman flash for that in the mid lane. So going back and gets a flash out of Jet, but now Once is here. Megaman tries to get the bait, but Jet is just too quick with the fingers. First blood in the mid lane.
But Swamp was doing the invade. That was disappointing for AXIZ. Obviously, Megaman really digging deep there, using everything except for their ignite, and just wasn't in range. Jet was just a bit too slippery as we come into this replay, and it's the beautiful fog of war. At this moment in time, you can see the ping coming out from the side of Sengoku Gaming. Question mark, what's going on? Megaman just missing the empowered stun there, not able to get it off, and just because of how the vision works, that's going to be Paz Once coming in, calling it quits, and there's not even been a jungle advantage in creep score or anything. Jet's already pulled ahead to almost a 10k CS lead, and it's only 5 minutes in. This isn't good initialize if you're an AXIZ fan.
No, it's not. Of course, it's onto that AP threat, onto that superstar jungler we were talking, superstar mid laner rather. So we're looking at Talia, and I'm confusing my roles.
Mate, I keep thinking it, yeah.
Yeah. However, what this does mean is Jet now no longer has the flash, and there's a world where Megaman can maybe punish that with a little assistance. Still, very much the advantage early on for Jet, but Swamp has found his way into the bot lane. Time to see whether he can make like Shrek and kick out all the interlopers in his swamp.
I mean, so much of this is now put on Dicey to actually land their combo, and then for Swamp to be able to combo it effectively. The problem is the wave isn't actually really set up into a spot. Well, with that one going ahead, it was put in a spot where now hopefully Swamp can get around some of the vision, but they're doing a lot of nothing, right? Like, this is like using your time as a resource on the map as to try and influence somewhere for something, but certain camps now, your topside camps are actually now respawning. You're not actually doing anything with this. And you can see once he's not stopped moving since he came in. Goes mid, tries to do something, can't do any, rotate back around, get my camps, keep going. Swamp hasn't moved and is only going to fall behind. He is injecting so much onto this, and it's all going to come down to, can Vital execute on this, or is Swamp going to land it?
There we go, into the seismic shot, but it's not quite timed well enough. The Ghost and the Flash are enough, and that means Swamp has wasted a bit of time now in the mid lane. We're seeing the dive onto Mega Man with nowhere to go. The Q lands onto the minion. Mega Man gets under the tower. Still not enough Flash from once to get him out to safety, and the Crocodile is turned into a second shoe to join the first.
I mean, they're beautiful pairs. I think LeBlanc could use a fashionista skin more than anything else. I'm completely here for it. Running down the runway, because that runway is mid lane at the moment for Sengoku Gaming, and using so much time to, sadly, for it to not work out with that bot lane gank dive way around it. But Sengoku once isn't on vision here for the longest time. Jet does come ahead. I love the idea of just trying to get onto them, but using then that minion as well, hey, you're close enough, get in, effective enough damage. Flash does have to come out for once, but still, it's super worth it because you can just see there's almost now a 30 CS difference. There's going to be so much of a goal difference in mid lane, and Mega Man's going to just go from struggling to,
yes.
What's a baby crocodile? What's a baby crocodile?
I think it's still just a crocodile. I don't know whether
No.
I don't know. What is a baby crocodile? Crocodile name. I'll find out now.
This is more.
You like that. This is important.
I'll talk about the game, I guess. All right. Well, Jet's just going to keep poking around. And something
Hatchling, by the by, is the name. Is Jet looking to make sure Mega Man is just dead in the water? Solo kill. And this, you said it was a runway. Very appropriate, considering this is Jet taking off right now. He'll gonna need his passport because this guy is high flying this game.
And where else on the map's really working out for the side of AXIZ? Let's start looking for the positives for them. Right, so top side is actually going okay. Not as good as it should be going. Paz shouldn't be full health in all fairness, but that's what happens when you have a spell book. You can kind of just rotate around. You can use your teleport, and then it's not really a big deal. You can just use summoners. It's all good in the hood for them. When it comes to this, though, at this moment in time, you've got half a wave ahead, so that's something going for them. Swamp has been able to catch back up, but they did take the mid wave that was crashing in, so that's partly where they were able to make up that lost time, sadly, for not working out on the bot side. And in all fairness, Sangshu is farming relatively effectively, so outside of mid lane completely falling apart for AXIZ, they've got still some ways that they can recover from this game. It is terrifying, though, because as you mentioned, Jet is probably the worst person on the side of AXIZ for them to be fed, because Sengoku can just hard carry through. Yeah, that seems appropriate, Chris.
Yep, out there, LS nods in approval. Renekton getting slapped in the mid lane. Though, in fairness, this is a very different style of Renekton with the Prowler's Claw, as we need to go right back to real, as here is this replay, I think, of this... no, it's not the replay, I apologize. It was just the... Just back towards mid lane. And so saw the trade and went, surely this is another solo clip. No, it's just Jet hitting a lot of combos.
So something I want to look about at this game, because we are almost 10 minutes in, and it's something we haven't observed. Now, obviously, when you have a Yuumi composition, you don't really see a lot of roaming coming out of the Yuumi sometimes. Sometimes you see them jumping onto junglers in opportunistic spots, like for Rift Heralds or for Dragons, but otherwise, that doesn't happen. The reason you pick an Alistar is because you, at level 3, you can start just roaming into mid lane, roaming into top lane even, doing these weird rotations around the map, but I'm not going to have time for this point.
There's the Ethereal Chains landing, and that means Jet's likely just out of their ultimate used in trade for just Jet being forced out of lane, but not for that much longer. He just gets to walk straight back.
Oh, yeah, and I mean, that was also forcing Yellow Yoshi to walk back further away because they knew once was in the top.
Oh my god, that chain missing was so important. My days, Mega Man getting hit by the skin of his teeth. Jet nearly found another solo kill, and that was with the enemy jungler around this time. You can go back to talking now, Lexi.
There is no safety for Megamin in this game anymore. You gave 3 kills over to Jet, the MVP of Spring, and is fighting to get regain. Oh no.
We've got a bit of a dive going on. There'll be a lot of tankiness on Dicey. Still got the ultimate. They're going to get the seismic shove onto 2. Maybe able to finish up another afterwards, but I don't think so. Swamp gets flashed on once, gets that kill. He gets Lee Sin for the first time this split, but now actually the Yuumi dies. Once goes in, manages to get another back, but so many shurikens. I don't know whether Once wants this. He's going to go in anyway. Here comes Jet. He's looking to make sure his mid laner is the one who gets the additional kill. Sanctuary going to try and make sure it is not Jet that gets it. He won't even get the assist. Best of a bad situation there for Sanctuary. At least they get some kills, but it's far from clean for AXIZ.
No, and but it does still show that this is why AXIZ have been a team in certain spots where they are proactive sometimes. They do try and still look for things even when things were pretty bad for them in that spot, right? 0-3 coming into this play, they're at least looking for something. And this is a great idea. The moment you see the Yuumi ult coming out, though, in my opinion, I feel like that's when you just have to decide, hey, call it quits here. They do get the kill immediately, though, over onto Vikal, so that's great, right? But at this moment in time, NT gets very far up. Well,
we're not done.
Oh my God.
Gets stunned up, has to back away. Megamin can't quite get close enough, but the Herald has come down. Dicey's gone golden. Mid lane turret falls. Megamin to the backside of it. Trying to get a hold of Vital. Can't quite secure the kill with the Ignite. Might be able to do it. No, not there at all. Yuumi, Zoomies do what they need to do. The ethereal chains go wide onto Swamp, who's now trying to back out, who burned his flash earlier on. Seismic Shove not quite enough, but once manages to buffer out with a ward hop to his friends, and safeguard is indeed the right word as Jet gets another. Once hopping forward, Jet is there as well. You just can't run far enough away. A double to the LeBlanc, and Sengoku Gaming have taken this game and wrung it out already.
Oh my God, Sengoku Gaming, make a statement to end it out. And remember, they want to go undefeated. They want to end positive because they have that head-to-head win over Detonation. Focus Me Initialize. Every win is important. You know DFM are going to be at the heels of Sengoku Gaming. It's important because that side selection, that gives you the priority going into that juggernaut match for these two big teams. But for this match, for Sengoku Gaming, it's about not making any big mistakes. It's about playing decisively. And you can argue Vikal and team here made an absolute decisive decision. They knew when they could go in. They knew when they could come back. And yes, Megamin used a lot of resources there, but the Yuumi passive coming out, the extra shield, zoomies, everything, knowing the limits, and then afterwards, it's just a formality. Something I want to credit to Jet here is finding spots where to weave in the extra auto attacks here, because that's what actually killed Swamp there, the extra autos there, meaning they could immediately rotate around and get Dicey as well. Popping over the wall as well at the very end for Jet there. I found amusing just watching Sangchu terrify the guy. Just send a message more than anything else.
Absolutely. And, you know, between Once and Jet, they've just styled on it. Literally safeguard away from the seismic shove and then just go straight back on in. The style points definitely coming through this game as Jet feeling like he can do absolutely anything at this point. He was on vision as he goes forward and chunks out Megamin to literally 2/3 of his HP, but he's now going in. He's got the dominance, can start chunking this one out, and Jet's got to be a little afraid!
I mean, we kind of told him how this was going to go after the third death.
0-5-0, 5-0-1. That is not reasonable.
That's not the scouting gown Renekton I remember, I'll be honest with you, Initialize.
I don't think anybody wants to remember this. This is brutal.
This is well, Megamin has been
okay, maybe a moment here. My Vital
maybe?
will get shoved back. He still got the spell shield. Didn't burn it earlier. Tried to make sure the thread volley would do its work, but good discipline from Vital to prevent that from happening. But now once behind, can look for the angle. Blast Cone is there. Would still be on top of a cow. I don't know whether he necessarily wants to. Lands the Sonic Wave. Will not take the resonating strike.
Yeah, his bot lane was a bit pushed up. The wave wasn't in a great spot, and there's no reason for going for it. But
final chapter comes through. Flash away.
Doesn't lock him down. Waited for the absolute limit for that one. But something I want to just bring up to you, Sam.
Do too.
We haven't seen Paz this whole game, have we?
No.
Or Yellow Yoshi for that respect.
No.
That means Sengoku Gaming have been doing all these dives, all these things with basically a Bruiser Lee Sin and just brute force damage. what happens when Paz joins is AXIZ go from having a hope at the moment, because if you burst down the LeBlanc and the Sivir just fast enough, just to raw damage, you'll win, right?
Sure.
Once Paz joins them, there's no hope. There's no hope for AXIZ. So my play-by-play for you, right, is to just go talk very positively about AXIZ and say they're always going to do everything without Yellow Yoshi or Ornn joining the game, because that's the only way I see them ever having a chance this match.
It's that or get Yellow Yoshi with the mother of all Narflank teleports to murder the LeBlanc. I don't know how reasonable that is to assume is even a possibility.
Vital also completely messed up his spell shield as well. Like we're going all of the cojones here.
All right, well, we're going to try and clean up this wave with the Ornn Horn. I don't think necessarily gets much done as well as Mega Man and Zhangqiu begin to try and take out as much of this tower as they can. Not quite secured as that Dicey is here. Without a wave, they're not going to get anything done. All the while, I think it was the second Herald just taken, so this is going to be a losing trade pretty clearly, as Yellow Yoshi about to find himself on the end of a 3-man gank. There is no LeBlanc as yet. With the Herald in inventory, I think this is just going to be a 2-tower shove for not even one secured yet.
And Paz is just playing so respectfully. They know that their top side, that's where all the resources are. They know that they've cut the map in half, and they're just saying, hey, AXIZ, respond to us, because we will do this.
Swamp trying his very best to trade on out, but the Sonic Wave lands. There is nowhere to go. The Talia dies for a 3rd time this game. Now the final chapter comes through as Vital tries to ensure this Herald can get on through. Does get the charge. And Sengoku have run away with this game. There is nothing more to be done. They are 6,000 gold ahead, but in terms of the plays that they are able to make right now, it feels like AXIZ cannot even walk outside of their own base.
Well, at this moment in time, I completely agree with that statement, Initialize. Walking out of your base is potentially a death sentence, because we all know Lee Sin, he's the Bruiser Assassin, Mage, countless other titles. He's well and truly an assassin now to almost all members of AXIZ. So Sengoku have now got the double assassin tank composition with a Sivir to run fast, with a Yumi to run fast. I don't know how they ever win this game now. I'm doubling down with you. I think it's a bit over. So how's your weekend been, mate?
Well, it was starting pretty well, and then I just witnessed a murder live on air. The Swamp is about to get drained, potentially, but won't quite die. Has, in fact, got the flash, and I want to point out the level discrepancy here as well. That is a level 13 LeBlanc, a level 10 Renekton. And I'll talk about my weekend once the blood's been cleaned off my screen.
Jesus. Sengoku.
Yeah, I know they're named after the Warring Kingdoms period in Japanese history. That's what the samurai helmet thing's all about. But I wasn't expecting like a literal reenactment.
It's like when you hand someone the idea of what you're trying to go for, and then the outcome is something that you weren't expecting, but you're not angry at the person or even sad at the outcome. You're just kind of like, I didn't expect you to follow it verbatim. But okay, Warring Kingdoms, murder everybody. Okay, well, that's what Sengoku are. They're currently tied first in the standings, and they look to dominate AXIZ in this game. And Mega Man, I don't think this works how you want it to work.
You've got a Weaver's Wall and a prayer, but there's just not enough tankiness as an exhaust afterwards! No! No! This isn't illegal. And once it's here, they're just gonna keep going! Flashback to turn around! Dicey! Massive shutdowns, and actually AXIZ gets something! They'll make it a 2-for-2 right now. Yoshi flashing over the wall. There's a mimicked ethereal change to lock him down as Paz is teleported in. Yellow Yoshi in a mini hops away, nowhere to go, does a fair amount of damage but cannot secure it in the 1v2. A worthy attempt from AXIZ top laner, but it's still just not there. I mean, let's watch this again, because I think Vital and NT just broke everybody's ankles.
I mean, this is just also Yumi ult coming out, locking down the Renekton immediately. So Mega Man could do absolutely nothing. Vital, this was great from you, but the moment you get into turret, you can see Dicey flash immediately, headbutt, pulverize, and Yeah, you'd already used the spell shield slightly earlier, buddy, remember? Because you didn't want to die to what was happening from Swamp there. So, hey, the Thought Seize wasn't good. It got countered, but then you didn't have the follow-up counter spell for the Alistar Headbutt Pulverized. It's okay, though. You're 14 versus 4. You've got all the gold in the world. Actually, you've extended your gold lead from when we last talked about it, even though you've both died. It doesn't matter. Teleport coming in for Yellow Yoshi.
He does teleport in, but that's a mini now. And at the moment, it's Baron o'clock, and Jet's got a Yumi on top, and so much damage! The Sigil of Malice will be procced by an Ethereal Chain, but it's a good shove back that forces Jet to flash away. Kick from Woz, but I think he's gone very deep. He dies, shuts down into Sangchu's pocket. And how much of a problem will this now be for Sengoku Gaming? The Old Horn coming through, though, means the Vital is here. And can start to chunk this one out, but Severum Crescendo means Sangchu, untouched, flashes in, gets onto Vital. Sangchu with the Chakrams! Sangchu with the options, Ethereal Chains finally brings him low, and Jet with the Yumi on top can now start hopping forward. He was chunked out to begin with, but will refuse to allow this team fight to go wrong. AXIZ found what looked like the beginning of a miracle, but they just can't lock down enough.
It's so much almost good, almost working, but almost isn't good enough for AXIZ here. Almost is sometimes good enough in your school projects where it's like, oh, I can see a good attempt here, but this is when you're seeing what you're made of more than anything else. And honestly, this is more on the side of Sengoku, in my opinion, for fumbling this play, and AXIZ actually just playing really well to actually catch back up, right? So they use that teleport in, and it seems like actually at the very beginning, this play goes horribly because Yellow-Yoshi gets chunked out immediately. However, the stun immediately coming out from Megamin with the Swamp follow-up, it really allows them to kind of force Sengoku to react to this, because once had gone in, he's so deep, and now they're trying to pick up from the play. They weren't accepting how bad it went, and now that's the follow-up. The issue is, when they do land the Ornhorn, they have no vision, so they have no idea if anything actually landed. Dicey, you're just dead here, buddy.
No,
so because everyone was dead, it meant that the follow-up was very, very mismanaged from them, but at the end, Sengoku Gaming were just too far ahead, and Yumi plus Zoomies is just still very, very good.
There's an Eye of Ludens, a Shadow Flame, and a fully stacked Magi Soul Stealer in Jet's inventory. He is 10, 0, and 3 on this LeBlanc right now.
He wants to go for Yaharong's KDA, I think.
I mean, he's going to try. At the very least, Swamp is around, can try and look for a steal,
a lot more.
Jet's so scary. There it goes. Over the wall they go with the Distortion. Ethereal Chains there, broken by the crunch away. Mini-Gnar now coming through, but Jet will still have another Distortion available. Gets slowed down by a Prowling Projectile, and with a Yumi on top, Jet has more than enough to murder the jungler of AXIZ, and now wants Jet and this Yumi of NT can just do whatever they please, as they've been doing from what feels like minute 1. Oh, gosh.
Has got empowered TP at this moment in time, so while he is bot side, he can come in at a moment's notice, and they are pushing at the moment. There's the TP coming in.
There's the TP, and I think this is looking to be the death push. 23.5 minutes on the clock. Be just longer than you said would be their option, but it feels pretty much as dominant as you were suspecting it would be, timer or not. They're going to make sure they shove in the wave in the top side and continue to prowl, to hunt for even more damage.
And there's no reason to stop. They've got that Baron buff, Dragon's coming up, but I mean, Sengoku really don't need the Dragon or Soul to finish this game. They're just going to get their Empower Wood, and Jet is on the side.
Oh, no! Jet Fuel can melt Renekton's, it seems. A 4-man Ornhorn brings down another. It's a double for Jet. How far can he go? There's got to be some room for a bit more, but maybe on the fountain, the Moonlight Vigil, empowered by Infernum, does enough to chunk out Sengoku for a while, and maybe they can't quite end it yet. Any teleports, any ways to keep hunting. There is a Weaver's Wall. How aggressive, how deep do they want to go? But Jet with a Yumi isn't done yet. He's going to go in 1v4. With a little bit of assistance from NT. Never forget the cat is there empowering people, but they will be forced to stop the shove for now.
But that shove was 2 outer turrets, double inhibitor, and now AXIZ on the reset. I mean, obviously Sengoku now, formality, can go and collect that dragon for themselves, because that's how they benefit from all of the exchange of everything. Oh, yes. And now AXIZ is going to try and reclaim something from their base, but they're not even going to be allowed to get their own blue buff.
Well, that's Jet doing nearly everybody's health bar with 2 abilities. A decent attempt at a turnaround isn't going to be enough as Once secures that kill. Honestly, for all that we've been praising Jet, Once has been the other member who's been utterly phenomenal. As Mega Man will survive for now as Jet's clone goes forward to scout out where that Renekton is. He wants another kill on the Crocodile.
Can you blame him? At some point, it's just about just having fun and sending a message, and then you're just like, I don't even care about the person on the other side of the screen. I just want to kill and just get number go up, right? I want to have the biggest number at the end of this game. Keep farming, Jet. Number go up, make me happy. Can we get another one on Dicey now?
Decent knockup, but they just can't follow up, and he'll just hop back with the distortion. Final chapter runs out, but Dicey just out of damage. Another kill for Jet. Vital goes down. Big chakram pickup, and Vital died a couple times here in key moments, giving Sangchu a little bit of life, a little bit of gold. This AD carry from AXIZ has picked up a few. Is there anything left in the tank for him? The Nexus Towers are the ones under the siege, though. And the problem is it's Jet and Once who are the real threats right now as Mega Man goes in with the Prowler's Claw. Will not quite find enough damage. He goes down. Jet goes golden. Gets kicked back. Flash away. Will go. That is Jet dying. That is Sangchu getting a shutdown of all proportions. Once dies as well. A much-needed triple kill at AXIZ. Hold on.
What is going on?
Sangchu, baby.
All right, so credit where credit is due. Sangchu, Dicey also, and honestly, the whole side of AXIZ is just kind of playing point guard for Sangchu. And hey, we mentioned this player in the pre-game. Trust in them. They actually land the final chapter onto him. They lock him down there. And then you can see Vital is like, wait, this is the moment we should go on to him. The issue was the tower shot. They flashed away. They used everything, but the tower shot was still on them. Sangchu's damage range true, and they're able to get the kill onto Vital, who again, just going too deep, going too far forward. I wonder, though, if Jet had decided to go for the kill onto them instead of Dicey, maybe they could have got Vital. No, Sangchu, and this might have not gone so bad for them. The thing is, Sangchu was just able to go forward, and really, where's the follow-up from any of the members of Sengoku? They're all so low. They've done this fight for so long with the Baron. They tried to get the push to end the game there and then. And sadly, the greed or, I don't know, the fumble more than anything else. Because honestly, I feel like Sengoku should have been able to end on that push. They didn't. And AXIZ have got a moment to breathe. How much longer for? I don't expect very long.
Turrets. But they have got an 8-kill, 4-item Aphelios with a stopwatch and a prayer. No heal, no flash that makes this so difficult, and the rest of AXIZ have got to survive long enough to keep this AD carry alive. But they're just going to walk up to the Nexus and start autoing it. They've got to fight from so many angles. Jet on one side, hopping forwards, hopping back. Yellow Yoshi being chunked out, hopping away, going back to the fountain. But in goes Mega Man, but he's dead already. This Crocodile has been anything but an Apex Predator. Kicked across the wall is Sangchu, who goes golden. They'll get one onto Yellow Yoshi, but Sangchu, he's just not got enough left in the tank. He's just not got enough. Swamp alone on the fountain will watch as his Nexus falls. Valiant heroics from the Aphelios will not shut down the Sengoku war machine. 16, 1, and 7 on the LeBlanc was Jet.
I'm disappointed that he died at the end, to be honest. That's